Yes, sorry guys. I'm really sorry. My microphone was off. I just noticed that. Can you hear me now? If you can hear me now, just say yes. If you can hear me now, just say yes. Can you hear me now? I'm waiting for the first. I'm waiting for the first person that would say, "Yeah, we can hear you." Waiting for the first person, just so we can go on. Yes, thank you, Jackie. So you can hear me now. I was just saying that I had to move location to get a place that is a bit quieter, and also a place that is that I can really express myself better. And because I'm like in a some sort of, as you can see, is outdoor, so there was a bit of a noise earlier on, isn't it? So right now I'm somewhere close to the airport, and for some of you guys who are watching, just be careful. You might just hear planes and aircraft going up and down, every 5 minutes or so. Just so you know, I'm close to the airport, so I hope you can bear that, and we're gonna be able to do stuff together. If you're joining for the first time, watching on YouTube or you're watching on Facebook, please make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel, Solomon's Temple. Yes, Solomon's Temple. Make sure you subscribe, and also make sure you follow me on social media networks. We have to be able to do that. Yeah. So I got some comments coming in. Helen is saying beautiful view. Yes, indeed. Very beautiful, isn't it? You can see the mountains, there's a bit of hills, grass. There's some water there, some water. Can you see a plane there coming up? I'm not sure how many of you guys would see it. There's a plane there. I'm sure you can see it. Can you see it, guys? No, not yet. Where's the plane? I'm trying to show you the plane. I need you to see. Yeah, there it is, right behind me there. It's very tiny. Just look around my head. He's gonna come out the other side. Yeah, there it is. He's going up there. So I'm somewhere close to the airport. Uh, yeah, very beautiful scenery, Tony. Tony Eden is saying very beautiful scenery. Yeah, indeed, very, very beautiful scenery. I love nature, so I love to get away and make sure I, I, I'm out there. So we're gonna spend the next few minutes talking about Bishop Makamu, Bishop Israel Makamu. He's the bishop in charge of Endless Hope, Hopeless, is it? Endless Hope, rather. He might be hopeless now, but you know, Endless Hope uh, Church in the east of Johannesburg, around Alberton. Yesterday, he was, should we say, officially fired? Was he fired? Did he decide to step down voluntarily from his TV programs? He has a very popular TV program on Moja Love TV. For those of you guys who are not in South Africa, Moja Love TV is one of the most popular TV channels in South Africa that deals a lot with the issues of around the black people, around race, what we face, marriages, relationships, the church, and everything. Right, so it's grown very, very popular. They have a program. Actually, it's more like cheaters. You go out and you try to to catch your boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife cheating. So they've become very, very popular. And he also has a very, very popular program in there. He's had not just one program, I think 2 or 3 different programs in the last 4 years, and that's really shot his popularity. Uh, he became very, very popular across the board, and he travels, he organizes revivals in different towns and locations around South Africa, in KZN, KwaZulu-Natal, or in the Eastern Province and all that. And he also runs a funeral business, and the funeral business is doing very, very well, extremely well. So the last few days, there's an audio that came out, and I got that audio last week, Friday, and I made a broadcast around it. You can go and check it. It's a conversation with another girl who I recently was made aware of her name, so I know her name. Let me just say her name is Mpo. I'm not going to tell you her full name. Her real name is Mpo, and she was a receptionist at the church. And obviously, this happened about 2 years ago or so. And The conversation was very inappropriate for a man of the cloth, for someone who claims to be a bishop and occupies the office of a bishop, you know. And tomorrow I'm gonna do another broadcast just around his reply saying that no, he was just flirting. You can't flirt. He was married. You don't go around doing that. There's no amount of excuse. But today, or anyway, in this, broadcast, we're just gonna deal with him and the fact that, was he fired, or did he decide to step down voluntarily? If you want my opinion, I think he was fired. But you had to release a press statement to make it look like he would step down voluntarily. And if there's one thing I love that this TV channel, Moja Love, did, was the fact that they made a decision. Immediately, it went viral. I did a broadcast on it, so it became, a big deal. I got a call from Moja Love also, which I feel is appropriate, right? Because at the end of the day, how many churches do we know that asked the pastor to step down or fire the pastor after getting such credible and damning evidence? How many churches do you know? How many? Actually, in churches, we protect these people. The evidences are very clear and explicit, but we still protect them. But this is a TV channel who went out of his way and said, no, you have to step down. Or maybe, no, you're fired. You cannot bring our channel into disrepute. Now, Moja Love TV is not even a Christian TV. It's not a Christian TV channel. But they had to actually ask him to step down. Now, let's look at that statement in itself. I was building the fact that, for those of you guys who are watching first time and you're not familiar with Bishop Makamu, this is Bishop Makamu. Obviously, he's a young guy. You see the kind of car that he drives, so he's living the good life. I'm not against people living the good life, but when you see pastors posting such photos on social media, just know that all that glitters is not gold. Yeah, what you see is not what you get. He's not the real deal. This is him again, with a very, very great, beautiful car. And you can see, when you see a pastor posing this way and taking photos like this and posting it on social media, for me, that's a red flag. It says a lot about the leadership of that man. It says a lot about his relationship with other people. It says a lot about his emphasis on material things. And I'm not saying material things are not great. No. But when you see a photo, proper photo like that, you know that there is an intention behind it. Who are you trying to attract? Are you trying to attract people who are looking for the good life so they can come to your church because they're also going to be blessed? Or are you trying to attract young women who are looking for just any man? Or you're just trying to put yourself out there, you're successful, different things. So that's him. Also beware that he is married, like I said. This is his pregnant wife, I think around 2018. Sorry, 2018, I think so. 2018, 2017 or so. And he was married. And this was about the same time that this audio was made. I played the audio for you yesterday. If you want to listen to the audio again, you go back to the broadcast I did yesterday around it. So we're talking about a married man who has kids, who leads a church. What is he still doing, leading his church? Has he stepped down from his church? We are always the last to take action. Let's look at the press statement by Moja Love. Obviously, he also said something in there. So this is for immediate press release. You can see the date there on the 11th of May. Moja Love accepts Bishop Israel Makamu decision to voluntarily step down from Moja Love. Did he voluntarily step down, Moja Love? Is there something you're not telling us? I don't think he voluntarily stepped down. Moja Love knows that this is not good for their business. This is not good for their client. This is not good for their advertisers. When you bring the name of a business into disrepute, then obviously they would want to cut ties with you. They would want to take you off. Now, they went on to say that Moja Love, DSTV channel 157, has accepted Bishop Makamu's decision to voluntarily step down from the channel pending an internal investigation after a recording with sexual connotations has been circulating on social media. Right? He said his decision to step down voluntarily. If he's stepping down from being a presenter, why hadn't he stepped down from being a bishop, from leading a church? If he is really stepping down here voluntarily, why isn't he stepping down voluntarily from leading a church, which is more important than just being a TV presenter here on Moja Love? So all this thing about him voluntarily stepping down, I don't know. But the good thing that I know that Moja Love is doing is they have an internal investigation going on to find out the truth. They went on to say, as a channel, we will be conducting an internal investigation regarding the matter before Bishop Makamu is reinstated back to the channel. So they're leaving the door for him to get him back there or not to get him back there. I don't see why you should get somebody back there when everything is explicit. Why should you get him back? No. The fact that he's on TV is making him popular, and it's easy for him to attract women. It's easy for him to flirt around. It's easy for him to feel that he has power, that he would do stuff. It's easy. Anybody who's on TV will feel that way. So I don't think reinstating him back is the thing to do. He said, in consultation with the channel, Bishop Makamu maintains that he is innocent and says that the recording dates back to 2017. He says the lady in the recording worked for him and their conversation was not sexual in any manner and that it was altered to extort money from him. That was what he told Moja Love, but that is not what he told Daily Sun. You know, he's saying now that it wasn't sexual, but when he told another media, he's saying, no, they were flirting, and I'm going to deal with that tomorrow. Like he was just fooling around. Man of God, bishop, or whatever you call yourself, you cannot fool around. Why? Finally, there's just another part of the extract from the press release. Moja Law's head of channel, Bokani Moyo, says, as a channel, we take this recording very seriously. We have started an internal investigation and are reaching out to the lady in the recording to find out the events around the recording. One of our properties, I'm a bishop, reveals behind the scenes shenanigans that pastors and bishops engage in and impose on the public. We cannot ignore a recording of this nature where one of our hosts is implicated. We have to establish the facts and truth before Makamu comes back as part of the team. Yes, you have to establish that. But even with what you have right now from this recording, that is enough for you to tell him to step in. If you really want to say that, look, you have a program called I'm a Bishop, except I'm a Bishop is just there to create controversies and get viewers, and that's just it. But if you really care about the church, if you really care about people in the community, if you really care about people who have been taken advantage of by bishops, by prophets, by apostles and everybody, then you have to, for me, this stepping aside should be stepping aside and don't come back again. I know he's popular. I know people love him. But he has taken ownership. Even yesterday when I was talking about the audio, I was like, maybe it's not even his voice. But he has accepted that that's his voice. But you can't go around and tell us that the voice was altered. It was changed. It was not what it is. It wasn't sexual. That was it. That's it. So it's really very shocking that it went this way. But my question is, Why is the church always the last to take action? Moja Love TV took action. They got rid of him, either temporarily or permanently. We're waiting for that. Why is the church always the last? Has his church suspended him and investigate? Has his church released a prayer statement? Or he's the alpha and the omega of the church? You see, that's why it's very dangerous and unhealthy for you to go and attend a church where there is no board or trustees, elders, and not just having board and elders, but the board and elders are the one really controlling the church and not the pastor. But because if the pastor is the one controlling the church, everything that comes around him, anything that is being said around him, he decides what happens. And it looks like that is the same case here. It looks like it. It's very dangerous for you to go to church where it's just a one-man show, where it's just one man running the show, or him and his family running the show. Not healthy at all. Why are we always, how many pastors and bishops and prophets have you heard that they've been in one scandal or another scandal, which a lot of time is the truth? Even if it's not the truth, they need to step aside so you can investigate. And if you find out it's the truth, then you need to fire them. But how do you fire somebody who is the alpha and the omega of the church? You see the problem of some of these churches that just shows up and there's no sense of accountability. There is no sense of accountability to an eldership, to a board. Even if there's a board or elders or trustees, they are just there as figureheads. They don't really have influence. The pastor tells them what to say. He controls them. You must be very careful around these churches. You must actually stay away from such churches. In every church structure, there is different accountability levels. Because when you get into trouble in that church, when you get abused or when you get taken advantage of in that church, who do you run to? The elders and the trustees who are being controlled by him? Or there's no elder and a trustee, who do you run to? To him? No way. So I think Moja Love has shown great leadership by taking advantage of this situation and saying, look, hey, we're taking you off air. We're taking you off air. Based on this audio with this young lady. The young lady was a church receptionist at that point. Like I said, tomorrow I'm going to come and do an expose because, a newspaper called me to get my comment on this issue yesterday, and they published it today. So I'm going to come and talk about my comment and his response. Even this response that he gave Moja Love, there's an additional response when the same newspaper called him to say, look, hey, what was going on here? He said, no, we're just fooling around. We're fooling around? Bishop? Married? With kids? You're fooling around? And I'm going to deal with that tomorrow and also deal with my comment to the newspaper around it when they called me yesterday. You cannot cover lie and keep covering lies and keep covering lies. No, you cannot. And that's what we see a lot of pastors and bishops and all that do. They make a mistake here, instead of coming out and taking responsibility and say, look, hey, I made a mistake. Please forgive me and move on. They don't do that. They keep using lie to cover lie and lie to cover lie and lie to cover lie. Very unhealthy. We cannot go around doing that. That is just not healthy. And also, you members of churches, what would you do if your bishop, your pastor, is caught in a scandal like this? Because a lot of you defend him. That's what we do, a lot of us. We defend him. Even though the evidences are very clear, you defend him. No, you cannot defend him. It's time for you to rise up and say, look, hey, no, I think the bishop needs to step aside for now. Let's have an internal investigation. Stepping aside doesn't mean you're guilty. But in his case here, he's accepted that this audio is actually a conversation, that he was just fooling around. So he's guilty. Are you going to, because you know the pastor, you've been blessed by the bishop, protect him and just say, no, we just let it go? No. The first thing that he needs to do is to apologize for that audio. Has he apologized for that audio? If I was Makamu, the first statement I would give, look, I'm sorry, guys. A few years ago, this is what happened. Please forgive me. That's the first thing he was supposed to do. That's the first thing he was supposed to do. But when you don't take the initiative to do that, then it becomes a problem. And it becomes not just a big problem, but a very big. Because once you begin to cover your sins this way, you're technically destroying yourself. And that's what I feel Makamu is doing, destroying himself. Just because he doesn't want us to see his nakedness. Let's see your nakedness. We're all naked. We're all naked. It's indeed something that we need to think about. But my challenge to you is, as a church, as a Christian, what do you want, or what action would you want your church or you to take when there is such scandal? Moja Love has technically fired him, asked to step down, suspended him. His church has not. Why? Why are churches always the last, when we are supposed to be the first to make statements and to say things around this sort of issues? Why? And that's what I want to leave you with. You can check out his video that I did yesterday. So make sure you subscribe and then check out the videos that I have. So many of them that are there. I'm sure it's going to be a blessing to you. So thank you, guys. May the Lord bless you and keep you, cause his face to shine upon you. And may you continue to be people who would hold your leaders accountable. People who would expect your leaders to lead the way Christ wants us to live. In the name of Jesus. Thank you. Have a good day.